the coverage on CNN and MSNBC of the attempt to capture or kill the former LAPD cop who now has 4 deaths attributed to him, plus a couple of wounded people. Yeah, I was watching it. And at this point, as we begin tonight's program, State of the Union craziness, I have no idea if, what's his name? What's the guy's name, Kathy? I forget.
Rand Paul?
No, the Rand Paul. Oh, you're not listening. No, the rogue, Chris Dorner, the cop that they've been tracking, Rand Paul. Don't I wish it was Rand Paul that they had cornered in a cabin. Anyway, I have no idea what has happened up to this point, whether or not, I mean, beyond the point of the cabin catching fire and blah, blah, blah. Not that it really matters, I guess. There were several shootings around the country. I think there was one at, a University of Maryland student shot 2 housemates, one fatally and then committed suicide. University of Maryland. The shooting happened around 1 a.m. today, College Park, Maryland. Police did not release the names of any of the students involved in the shooting, but all 3 were male. Blah, 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 blah. Guns on campus. Of course, this was off campus, so it doesn't count, right? That wouldn't count. Also, the resignation yesterday of the Nazi Pope. I guess he's had enough. Former Hitler Youth member, Cardinal Ratzinger, Pope who? Pope Benedict the 17th? I don't even know. What is interesting is the almost uniqueness of the event of a pope resigning. It hasn't occurred for about 7 centuries. But what will be very interesting will be how and when and under what circumstances the new pope is selected. The Catholic Church is becoming rapidly a non-white organization. According to the statistics anyway, 15% of the Catholic population now lives in Africa, 12% in Asia, 41% in Latin America. That's 2/3 population right there. North America has 7.3% of the population of the Catholic Church. Europe, 23%. So while it has been historically a Caucasian-dominated cult that has caused hell and death and destruction for almost 1,800 years, now it... Oh, and by the way, you know the first pope, Peter, allegedly the first pope, was married? So anyway, the madness goes on. Of course, for that matter, apparently it was Jesus, I guess. I guess he was married. He had a girlfriend. We know that. So anyway, the Catholic Church now will struggle with its latest, and not necessarily a crisis. It all gets very interesting, doesn't it? The intrigue, the behind-the-scenes intrigue, the backstabbing, the double-dealing, all these men running around in their flowing robes, you know, as they decide who's going to be next. What to do with this extra pope, though? That's the part that is the curiosity. We are going to be carrying the State of the Union address. The president is now entering the joint session of Congress. Let's see what else have we got here very quickly. We're also going to have a moment with Bob tonight, Bob Alexander. Oh, and Comcast said today that it is buying the rest of NBC Universal from General Electric for almost $17 billion. So GE will be out of this part of the broadcast business. If I were a television personality at NBC or MSNBC, especially MSNBC right now, I would be checking the clauses in my contract. Comcast is notably a right-wing organization. So Comcast now owns, or soon will, for $17 billion, the rest of GE. They own 51% of it up until today. So we shall watch and report, right? What else do we have tonight? I've got a bunch of stuff. Did I mention Irish Dave? Yes, I did. Sponsor of all 3 hours tonight. And by the way, Peter B. Collins, talk show host and radio consultant, who's been around probably, I think, in radio longer than I have, had an interesting piece that was posted at Common Dreams, I believe, about the death and non-life of, or at Truth Out, was it at Truth Out? The death and non-life of liberal or progressive talk radio. It's worth a read. Our moment with Bob tonight, it kind of takes off from that point, which I want to share with you a little bit later. What else we got tonight, Kathy? I will be, I'm glad tonight is State of the Union, so it means I don't have to do an awful lot of talking. We're also going to have a report for you on the service in Cowboys football stadium yesterday in remembrance of Chris Kyle, the retired Navy SEAL sniper who claimed 160 kills from a distance. The people that Chris Kyle shot to death, of course, never knew what was coming or when it was coming. And, I've got some questions about that, which I will raise a little bit later tonight. It's not just the Christians. The Buddhists are, these Buddhist teachers can't keep their robes zipped either. Oh, just all kinds of stuff to talk about. But first we have to get through the State of the Union address. As you probably know, the little piglet, who's the rock and roller, the NRA? Yeah, Ted Nugent. Rand Paul. Ted Nugent is at the State of the Union address. Each member of Congress, I believe, gets one invited guest. So some half-assed from Texas invited Nugent. Of course, Nugent should have been barred since he has threatened the President of the United States.